7 p.m. Can we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And a roll call, please.
Tim Midzikowski.
Here.
Sharon Steltner here. Beth Engel. Here. Charles Busuttil.
Here.
Susan Bilcock. Here. Andrew Goulet.
Here.
Michael Baranowski.
Here.
Mr. President, number 4.
Thank you. Recognitions and presentations, Mr. Stricker.
Okay. We have 2 recognitions this evening. Again, recognitions, the way they work, as everyone in this audience probably knows, the people that deserve it the most do not seek it, nor are they doing what they do for recognition, but nonetheless they deserve it. So this evening, and she still, we must have kept a good surprise because she's not even looking up at me right now, we're going to recognize Sharon Steltner for her years of service. Now, I don't know if you want the amount of years of service
Yes,
recognized.
Oh, sure.
Yes, you did.
Why not?
1979, I believe, is when she began serving on the Board of Education.
89.
89.
25.
89.
Okay, well, hey. It's
Not
just
that
10 years.
25,
Just 10
35.
You know, when you get to know someone, you really can read and understand why they do what they do. And this lady right here, she truly loves the kids and loves the community, and her heart is in the right place. It certainly isn't for publicity that she does this, nor the recognition, but it truly is for the service, and not just even the service, but the service for children. And I've had an opportunity, she comes by to visit me once a week, and I have the opportunity to get to know her, even in the couple months I've been talking with her. And it's just really, it's a good feeling to know that you have people that you work for and work with that have truly the love of children in their heart. Are any of us perfect? I mean, we make a lot of decisions, and in the 25 years, you know, she's had to make a lot of decisions and recommendations and so on. Is everyone perfect when you're making tough decisions? No. But when you know the person has the right heart in mind, it sure makes a big difference. And so, in the short time I've got to know you, I appreciate your love for the community, but mostly in my job, the children that we serve. So Sharon, really all she did was the jacket for her new patch, 3 sport, not participant, but bleacher sitter. Yeah.
Bleach sitter.
But this is a little bit nicer, so
Aw.
thank you for your service. Give me a hand.
I'm sorry I didn't bring my really nice camera, I forgot it. So we're doing this now. This will work out.
Oh, thank you so much. I
Thank you.
truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Sharon, this way.
Caught me off guard.
Yes,
Yeah, you weren't paying attention.
Aw, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, thank you.
You're all next, remember? Thank you.
Here's to another 25.
Thank you. Thank you. That's the first. I never had to go all the way around before.
And I can give you a hug.
Oh,
Because
thank
I've
you.
known you for
All
all
that
25
long.
years.
Yes, you have. Oh, thank you very much.
And then the next person I'm going to recognize probably doesn't. Yeah, look at that face.
Oh, no, I didn't.
You know, what you've done is, what Nancy has done for us and for the school district that you wouldn't know, but I would know, is that she has stayed on board. You've retired once, came back, and then you were supposed to retire at the beginning of this school year. Yeah, several times. Several times. And again, I just want to make sure the audience knows and people that would watch us on TV know that we have people that truly love the children, and there's no other reason she would stay. I mean, it's not like she's gaining a lot in her retirement by staying a couple more months. But she actually had a lot of work breaking in a new superintendent And so I want you to know.
He is a lot of work.
Yes. And I'm chatty. A little chatty. So, but anyway, thank you on behalf of the school district for your years of service. And personally for me, thank you for staying. I appreciate
Wait, we got to get your picture.
And by the way, the 1979 year, that was mine.
Okay. And again, who's counting?
Right.
I am.
35 for your mom.
Yeah, she started when I was in 3rd grade.
Wow.
There you go.
That was a surprise.
Thank you, Nancy.
There you go, October 31st.
See, I read this wrong.
Yeah, I know. I saw how that worked.
What's wrong with that? Well, your month of service has been a long.
I have to wait for that.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Okay. Congratulations, and on a personal note, I've been doing this, the whole time I've been doing this, Nancy's been here. And starting out when I started brand new and didn't have a clue what was going on, Nancy always made sure to say, no, it's ta-da-ta-ta-da, and in such a nice way, you didn't know you were being chided, if that's a good word for it. I really need to have you come and take care of this when you get a chance, and I gotta say, in the times I've been here and we've had superintendents and board members come and go, that lady right there is the glue that's been holding it all together, as far as I can see, and I owe a huge debt of gratitude for helping me do the things that I do, and for yelling at me about tickets. So.
Yeah, I do that.
Recognition, but he couldn't make it this evening.
Go ahead and do it now.
We had a student. I don't believe he can make it this evening, but I still want to recognize him. Matthew Hayost. Did I pronounce it correctly? Yes. Right. Matthew Hayost. I go to the different buildings in the morning to greet the students and really just see the operations and get to know people. And one thing at the high school in particular, as I stand outside the high school with Mr. Melrose and Mr. Landrum, is we greet the students. And it may seem like something simple, but you know, from the first day to where we are now, there's been great improvement in just 2.5 weeks. And that is the students simply looking up, smiling, and saying good morning, and just even having that greeting to start their day in a positive way. And again, while it may seem small for recognition, one morning I'm holding the door greeting the students, and I noticed in my peripheral vision a student in the inside in the vestibule holding the door open, also greeting the students. And he didn't just do it for a few students, he stood there really for, I think, probably 2 or 3 busloads of students, and not only got the door for them, but greeted them. And while that may seem small, what I'm looking to do and hopefully improve upon in this community is that citizenship. I don't know if you remember the interview when I interviewed here and had to give a presentation on student achievement, but there were 3 pieces. One was the academic, one was life skills, but one was a sense of community. And that was sincere. I feel that it is that balance and that citizenship. Really, when it's all said and done, the older I get, the more sentimental I get. The citizenship piece, the family piece of it, that I'm striving to improve upon here in our community, is very important. And I've also learned in my career, it's one person at a time. And so Matthew could not make it this evening, but if you see him or would happen to know him, please say something, because I want to recognize that young man for something that seems small, that modeled the behavior we're seeking. So, Matthew Hayost.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
And thank you for noticing. That's awesome. Consent agenda.
I make a motion, the Board of Education approves all consent agenda items, including agenda, minutes, personnel items, treasurer's report, and bills, as listed items A through C.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That passes. Information items. board reports. I'll start with the St. Clair County Association of School Boards held its first executive council meeting on the 9th of this month. I was reelected as president of the association for another year, and at that time, we also set the meeting schedule for the upcoming year, and everybody may have received an email about it, but there's a general membership meeting on October the 28th at RISA, and you'll get more information about that. It starts at 6 o'clock at Tech where the meetings usually are. Hopefully you can make it. Typically in an election year, the meeting, for those of you who haven't been to them before, in an election year, the fall meeting is a candidate forum of State Board of Education candidates and candidates for the legislature from in our district. So it's always been a very informative time. They typically have a moderator, someone shows up that does a very good job of moderating it and fielding questions, and it turns out to be a really good discussion, and I've always gotten a lot out of it, and I think you all would too, so look forward to seeing you there. And that's what I have. And Sharon?
Yes, just a reminder, we are looking for delegates for the delegate assembly for MASB for next month. Has anyone decided they'd like to be a delegate or an alternate? It's going to be November the 6th. The assembly starts at 7:30 in the evening. Usually it lasts a couple of hours, sometimes more, sometimes less.
Are you going?
I will go if nobody else wants to do it. I'll
Well, I
go.
think you should be our delegate.
Here, here.
Thank you, Sharon, for representing us.
Sounds like a couple alternates over there, I don't know.
Right.
Does anybody want to be an alternate?
I'll be
Okay,
an alternate in case you don't go.
in case I don't go, okay.
How many do we get? We get one?
We get two, but we should have at least one show up,
Okay.
so,
So if we have you show up and Tim is a delegate, and who else wants to be a
I'll be the
delegate?
alternate.
An alternate, I mean,
an alternate.
right?
But I think that would be all right, that's not a
Okay.
problem, and if I can't make it, I'll let you know.
Where's it at?
Lansing.
Thank you very much.
She goes every year.
I
That's
do.
one of the things she does every year, almost
Yeah,
every
I've
year.
not missed yet.
No, seriously,
So
so
that's-
thank you very
that's a
much.
lot.
Okay, thank you, I'll represent you.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
again.
you, Sharon.
Anyone else? Administrative reports.
Tammy?
Well, it has been a very busy few weeks at Fairhaven. We had our first PTG meeting. Guest speaker Dr. Stricker was very well attended. We had our first PTG event, also very well attended. It was a skating party at Skateport, and it was interesting. And, I think I've recovered.
You think?
It was fun. It was fun. It was very fun. And nobody had any broken bones, I think. So it was a very successful event. We are polishing up our smiles for Picture Day coming up. We're looking forward to the Foxtrot. That's coming up at the end of the month. Curriculum note, we have dedicated the last hour of the day to intervention. If you come visit us between 2:30 and 3:30, the entire staff will be working with students specifically on skills that they need in reading to bring them up to grade level. Similar to what the reward tutors were doing last year, only on a larger scale. I had great success with this in my previous district, so I'm looking forward to the progress that we'll see now that we have all the benchmarking done and all the kids grouped, and we're into it with full strength. So I hope to make a big report of lots of growth on that. So,
Cool.
fun.
Thank you.
And the bonfires next come back. I have to save some of it, Nikki.
Okay.
Schools started off very well at Millside. It's almost we've been working hard to revamp and give a new look to our PBIS system that was getting a little drab. So we're using the bucket filler idea still, but incorporating character and life skills with the students. And the older students are trying to model that in skits and video for the younger students, so they can understand, you know, what those life skills mean at a kindergarten or first grade level. Some things coming up that the kids are looking forward to: the dome assembly coming up, the firehouse, Clay Township Fire Department will be there on the 7th and 8th of October. And our 6th or 5th graders are already raising money for camp. They did a bottle drive and raised over $600 in 1 week. So we celebrated today with an ice cream party. So it's all fun so far.
Well, at Algonac, I don't want to reiterate what the other two elementaries are doing, but we have a lot of the same things going on. Looking at some character arts assemblies that we've done, as well as our benchmark testing is done. So our intervention groups are getting started and underway, so that's always an exciting time to monitor the growth. We also have the dome assembly coming up and the fire department coming out. Algonac Fire Department will attend all of our drills, and we had our first drill. They were very impressed. The kids were out the door in 1:34 flat, so pretty exciting to have the fire chief there and to watch that many kids exit out. So things are going very well at Algonac Al. On a curriculum note, I've met with all the administrators, and we're starting to gather all of our current curriculum in place and getting ready to start some of those discussions that are very well needed to bridge K-12. So things are going well.
Thank you.
One of the things that we did not get a chance to present a year ago when I was at the high school, and with Jamie leaving and things of that nature, one of the great things that came out of last year as far as the Blue Water Area Conference was a 3-sport patch. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that tonight. The patches are here on the table for you to see. What the idea here was the principals and the athletic directors worked together to try to figure out a way that we could make sure we're recognizing the students who aren't individualizing, as is the trend now in athletics, who are playing all 3 sports, sometimes 4 sports in some cases, and how to recognize those students. So each of those, as determined by the athletic department at each building, will get a chance to get one of those, put it on their letter jacket, whatever they want to do, and somehow present it as a kind of a point of pride for them in each building throughout the BWAC. So those will begin being handed out this year by Mitch and his staff in the athletic department. We wanted you to know what it was about if you start seeing it and what it's for. Any MHSAA recognized sport that we as Algonac Community Schools recognize as a sport as well is considered a criteria for the award. So for instance, some schools maybe have equestrian, or they would have bowling that they recognize. So does the MHSAA. That's a viable sport for them to receive it, where we would not. Mr. Melrose, I know, is trying to start cross-country skiing. If that ever became the case, we'd offer that patch as well. So thank you.
Wow. Good lead in.
Yeah, thanks for volunteering.
Thanks.
Just want to say for the high school, really, to begin with, when I was lucky enough to get this job, that we were put to the task to really kind of tighten things up at the high school. And in doing that, we brought the point system in. We kind of tightened up the dress code a little bit. And I just want to say that along with that, you can't just do that without having positives as well. And we've really gone out to look for, recognize the students that have been achieving. And so we've been doing muskrats of the day every day. We have the teachers, or anybody can volunteer, students, staff, they're in the announcements. I put them on our Twitter account to send that out. It's been a very positive thing. We've had a lot of people that we've been able to recognize. And I'd just like to say that the high school students have really stepped up. We've had a great start to the year. The kids have been fantastic. As Dr. Stricker said, as we've been greeting them, kind of started off, they kind of wouldn't look you in the eye and kind of mumbled when they came in. And now, you know, it's good morning right back. They're saying it to each other. When visitors come in, they're welcoming, and it's just been a very positive start. And so we're just looking at building on that as the year goes and keep on building on all those positives. Couple other things, just real quick for notes. October 1st, next Wednesday, it will be our NHS induction. Next Wednesday, October 3rd, that Friday in the morning, will be our academic honors. The October 13th through the 17th will be our homecoming week with the homecoming dance on the 18th. And lastly, really, right now, we're looking at graduation requirements right now. I kind of started looking at that. We require 23.5 credits. We started looking around, and everybody around us is only requiring 22, 21, and we're just kind of looking at to see what the difference is, and kind of investigating that to see if that's something that we really want to change as we move forward. And that's that.
Okay, as part of the high school report, I've asked Mitch to give an athletic update as well.
Fall sports is in full swing. Just a few things. Last week, Josh Stiltner was named Port Huron Time Herald Athlete of the Week. Morgan Beetlestone so far this year, and cross country is undefeated. And up until this past weekend, had the fastest time in Division II. He's still in the top 5. I've worked out a deal with Sports Boosters with the pay-to-play concessions. Was having difficulties getting people to work the concession stand. Kids are still having issues paying with pay-to-play. So something that I worked out with them at the last Sports Boosters meeting is where they are going to have the opportunity as parents to work at the concession stand to help pay off their students' pay-to-play, just to offset the cost a little bit. Varsity football won their first home game of the year, beating Armada 28-6 this past Friday. The freshman and JV team is 3-1, and the 8th grade team is 2-0. To piggyback on Ryan's homecoming, the parade is at 4:30 on August the 3rd. October 8th is Parents' Night for volleyball, and October 17th is, and October 3rd is Parents' Night for football.
And the parade.
Frank, which day? I think you said
I'm
August.
sorry, October 8th.
Oh, now we know he meant,
October 17th.
I was gonna say, Frank.
Ryan, you know, you had to.
What's that?
17th at 4:30.
Exactly.
I have all that written down somewhere.
I wanted to make a comment. I was at Algonac High School. I've been there 2 or 3 times already this year. And both times that I have been, the last 2 times that I've been there, as I walked in the door, there was a lone student in the hallway who said to me, "Good morning, how are you today?" And I said, "Well, I'm just fine, how are you?" And he said, "Oh, hey, I'm doing just great," and away we went. And I was there last week, and the exact same thing happened. When I walked in, there was a student who greeted me, was ever so cheerful about it, and talked for a couple of seconds. And as I was getting ready to leave, there was a young lady walking down the hallway that did the exact same thing. So whatever it is that you started doing, it's working, because it happened to me 3 times on 2 different occasions already, and that's very cool, very good deal. Mm-hmm.
And it really does. What do you do now?
Ask them why these kids out of class.
Well, and I did, as part of that, I did say there was a lone student in the hall, and I have noticed that everybody's carrying a pass. If they're in the hall, they're carrying a pass, which in past times, there have been times where people haven't been carrying passes, and or there's been like a whole bunch of people hanging out and stuff, and that's just, the halls are empty. That's a very good thing.
And on that note, I want to thank the community, and I know we run this on the TV. I think sometimes as adults, staff, Board of Education, all the way through, that we model what we're asking the students to do. And I've seen a lot of communities that there's controversy at the board level, or there's controversy amongst the association and the administration. Don't kid yourself that the modeling certainly starts at home and in the community, but don't kid yourself. It starts from this room out. And so I want to thank because there is good rapport right now. You can feel it. And there's good rapport with the community now. I feel it. And don't kid yourself that those kids don't model after that, whether they know it or not. So it's not by accident or happenstance that these things will happen or are going to happen. So thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. I won't be too chatty, but I
Superintendent's
do have some
report.
things to get through here. So we'll get right on top of it.
Means that you got a head start on it there.
Yes.
That doesn't count as part of the change.
No, it does. The clock starts now.
Okay.
Okay, boss.
What the first page there, it says positive transition, Y transition, and then on the flip side of that first page of the PowerPoint slides is the same message that I'm getting teased about that is on our website. And every time I get a opportunity to speak, whether it be a parent group or a teachers meeting, I speak about it. Well, I could tell with our all administrative meeting, a group of about 18 people, they forget I used to be a teacher and I can kind of read body language, you know. And so I pass out this handout and I can tell they're like, oh, the same message, maybe some of you are right now, the same message. But then I looked at them and I said, if I were to quiz you, and anyone in this room that can get these bullet points, even 70% of these bullet points, if I were to quiz you, you get a $5,000 raise. However, if you don't get 7 of these bullet points out of the 10, then you get a $5,000 pay cut. Their face changed a little bit. The point I'm making is not only the Board of Education, you up here as the board, but even I consider the people that will take out their Monday night and come to these board meetings and sit through these board meetings. I consider this our core group. You this audience that is this concerned about our school community, are part of our core team. Do you really know these bullet points? Because for true buy-in to happen of an initiative of this magnitude, this core group, audience, ourselves, administration, need to know these bullet points. So yeah, I'm not going to sit here and read these to you again, but the bottom line is this. We're looking at a 2-campus system with Millside and Algonquin, K6, 712 building with Point Trimble for spillover, and also as we're currently using the building. That is the plan. The necessity of it, there's some bullet points, but in short is this. We have a budget situation where we have about 2% fund equity. We're estimating that. It could be, it can vary, but it'd be around 2% fund equity projected at the end of this year. That is not much money. For example, if you made a $4,000 a month, that would be like maybe having $200 or $300 in your checking account as your balance. Well, if you have children, or the furnace break, just children in itself is a money issue. But if the furnace breaks or you have a car problem, that $200 would be an issue. And so our fund balance is at a point where what's best for children is to have a healthy fund balance and to have money in the bank. That's the Y transition. The back sheet here is really the bullet points that I've asked administrators, community, and you as a Board of Education to be very aware of. And that is the benefit to our school community of bringing us together in a 2-campus system. I've had the opportunity to speak at most parent group meetings, and it's just been very positive. Actually, today at the high school, there was reference made to Blindside. It was a movie about an athlete in Mississippi, and the bottom line is this community rallied around this player, which ended up being a professional athlete, and rallied around this football team. And there was an energy about that. And there was an energy then that was created that everyone wanted to be a part of. Because let's face it, we all want something to believe in like that. Now, whether this proposal is perfect or not, of course it's not. Of course there's a lot to work through. But those positives can be summarized. I love that today in your meeting today, Ryan. I mean, that was a good summary of this is something we really can rally around to be that family-centered community that knows those children, whose parents go through with those children together, the administrators know those kids better because they're only in 2 campuses. And it really is exciting. So that is the summary of the positive. The other sheet that I have attached for you are some student numbers. If you could look at that, just I'll quickly go through this. I emailed it to you. So I won't read the whole thing, but the bottom line is this. In the top section there, you can see 1710 is the estimated number that I have right now. Now, I believe, and Diane's in the audience right now, I certainly won't put her on the spot, but I'm led to believe that our actual count will be a bit higher than that, but that is the count, unofficial count, that I basically got the numbers from principals and secretaries, and so that's an unofficial number. If you take that 1710 and go to the middle section there, what I've done under 1415 is I take K6 average, and the K6 average under 1415 is 128. I carry that number up, and then all the numbers go over. So you can see next year's projection is around 1712, 1709, 1707, and 1686. That's a formula I've used in the past, but if you take that and a report that the school district had completed before I got here, with the birth rates, I believe our number will actually be lower. Because if you even look at our kindergarten number this year, it's 115. And that is the smallest class by what, one? Or no, there's one, the fourth graders are smaller. So I think if this will actually be a lesser number than I have right here. I will adjust those numbers as data becomes available. Down at the bottom is the highlighted area, and that's basically in regard to the proposed consolidation. So you can see the K1 building will actually go up from 1415 to 243 to 1920 to 263. That's in Millside. Algonquin would start at 652 and is projected to basically maintain at about 650. The high school is at 815. The high school is where you'll see, actually I should call it the secondary building, 712. This is where you'll see the greatest decline because of the numbers that are within the system already. So it's at 815 and it will project here in 4 or 5 years to be around 775. Again, if we use the birth rate report, I think our number will be a little bit lower than that. And so really, we're in it. I feel we're blessed. We're in a good situation where these buildings, we are working with an architectural firm, and the students those are within the recommended numbers for grade level and workstations. They call them workstations rooms in each building. So I'd like to do is just take a second and have you guys ever taken little field trips during board meetings? Because I'm going to put the drawings out here. I just want to show you for a second. So you may need to get up here. And Scott, I'll just move the mic over. So everybody has to get out of their seat. Sorry. Is this not what we do?
That's fine.
And what I will do for the audience, you're certainly welcome to take a look at this after the board meeting. I'll leave the drawings up here and you can come take a look at it. Okay, this is Point Trimble. And so you can see basically we're going to use the building as is for the preschool programs and the Great Start programs. For the high school, because when we get to the high school, we may make the current high school, it used to be the industrial arts area, that will become a cafeteria for middle school, or for this, we should call junior high, 7th and 8th. E2020, I don't know if you've been in this room, if you get a chance, or you can call me, we'll go visit that. It's a very nice room. That was actually designed for that, and that would, right now, not board approved, I want to stress that this is a proposal, that would become a computer lab. You can probably get 40, 45, maybe even up to 50 computers in that room. It's a good sized room. This would be an additional computer lab, and this would be the, right now it's Blue Water Learning Academy. We are also looking at some different proposals for that. So this is Point Trimble. You can see then we would have these classrooms if we needed to use it for spillover with high school. Sorry. The architect spelled speech wrong there, but we'll get that corrected. These drawings are being sent back in. This is Millside, and this would be the K1 building, and so you can see we have our sections of kindergarten and early childhood, special education program there. You have your media in the middle here with the office. And basically you have the same layout as far as with the art room, title room, and then your first grade is over in this. So it's actually, if I may say, and I know I sound like a salesperson a lot, but it really is almost as if the building were designed for it, because you can have your teachers again, kindergarten this side, first grade on this side, and then your auxiliary services.
So these are extra rooms, or is this part of the kitchen area here?
It's the
This is-
kitchen there.
Yeah, I don't know, Melissa, you have a sec. This right here, is this all kitchen?
Yeah, well, look, okay, I see, go
Yes.
through here.
So this is all part of
All
it.
right,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
And then
that's
this
the
here.
music room back here, so there's some storage
Yeah.
spaces over here. And this, yeah, so there's the music room.
Thank you. This would be the, of course, the 2-6 building. And then basically you can see we did make some changes, and I want to thank Gabe for that. That was a good catch. That with our second graders, they wouldn't need the lockers because they actually will store their little cubby areas within the classroom. So We did end up moving the second graders from the original plan, because there's no lockers in this area. But again, you can see your sections are together, and then your auxiliary services, the gym, auditorium, cafeteria, is on this side of the building. So it really lends toward, even with the teachers, the camaraderie of having other teachers in the district in the same section working together. And then the 7-12 building, we wanted some flexibility, so we are gonna allow ourselves for right now while we're doing the scheduling to call them 7th and 8th grade rooms. But you can see we are making some changes. Central office would be located over here. This actually would be the boardroom, and also, I'm sorry, that's the, right here, this would be the boardroom. This is the lecture hall, and then this would be central office. This would still be the high school office because it's designed for the students to enter here for safety reasons, and then they have to go through the office. So this is still for the high school. This is all high school, and central office would be located in this building. Other than that, this would be a major change. This used to be the industrial arts area, and now it's a computer lab currently. Really without much construction, and Eugene, you can set me straight here, but it should be minimum construction as far as the room is. The room has the power,
Yes.
because it used to be the industrial arts. So we have ample power, and really it's already cleared out, so.
Oh, there,
So-
okay. I
So
see.
you know, you have this building, you know, pretty much to where the middle school or the junior high would have its own gym. There's 2 gyms here, have its own cafeteria. But again, I stress, and this came up today during the parent meeting with high school parents, and that is 7th graders in high school. I want my 7th graders to see the behavior we're trying to model. So the fact we have them physically separated, you know, still, if we needed to use the science area for maybe a 7th grade science, I certainly have no problem for the music or any other programs in the building. Because again, when we're running the school district the way we will run it and should run it, it is not a problem for our 7th graders to see and run into and intermingle somewhat with the high school students.
So this will still be used for high school?
Yes.
I mean, it's 7th, 8th, but I mean.
It could be,
Well,
and we may have to
put it in
less.
there because we're using it as a 9th grade, for 9th grade basketball, things like that.
And the
Once
point is,
they-
And Title
something.
IX. It was for being able to run JV freshman and varsity
Yeah,
at
well,
the same time,
yeah.
and because of Title
The
IX
busing
with the
and everything,
scheduling
so
of
it works
sports.
that way, yeah.
Yeah.
so on that note, we may have, more than likely, and Mitch, you can chime in here, but I'm certain that we'll still have to have busing to the Algonquin 2-6 building for athletics. I'm certain of it. So, but still, I mean, you know, it's almost as if when you look at this layout, and that's why when you see a visual, I know you can hear about it, but a visual says, a picture says 1,000 words. It's almost as if we're designed for this. Even the central office, 2 sets of offices, and the fact that we can get 7th and 8th over this side, have a separate cafeteria. Now, the food wouldn't be prepared here, but even the location of the cafeterias, the food would be satellite to this location. And the fact we have 2.5 gyms, it's a pretty good layout for physical education, everything like that. But to your point, for after-school extracurricular athletics, a lot more than likely we get advice. So, okay.
Yeah, the central office in my building too. I'm used to it.
You didn't want to see those? I've seen that once or twice. I hear you, Ryan. I'm gonna quiz you. I'm gonna quiz you right now on TV, maybe.
I saw it too, so I left room for everybody else. Yeah, that's what it was.
Okay,
You have more?
one more update is the Parent Connect. Parent Connect is the parent access to grades, schedules. What else does the Parent Connect? Basically for the grades and schedules and
Pay.
communications from teachers to the.
Food.
Nonetheless, it's a very important piece, and you know, there's a part of me that's glad that people are hungry are ready to get access to this program. As you know, we had a transition of software, And just on behalf of the county, the old software program we used was no longer supported, so we had to go with a new software program. And the implementation has taken more time than we had thought. I used to be a technology director, that's how it goes. Except my style was, again, conservative like I will be with budget. I learned very quickly in technology implementation, you give them a date that's way out here and you can always come back shorter. Extending, that's a different story. But nonetheless, I do respect the fact, on behalf of the people in our district that are helping implement this new technology software, that we're not going to release it to parents until we're ready. The worst thing we could do is feel the pressure of a timeline, put the access out there, and then it doesn't work properly. And that comes from a little my experience to where, with technology, if you put a piece of technology out there and it doesn't work or people are frustrated, you will turn them off to it. And so we are going to wait until we're sure that we can have a smooth implementation. We're still thinking probably pretty much in October right now. Is there any thoughts on that? I know we've talked a little bit in our administrative meeting. So we will get that out as soon as possible. But I want to thank our parents and Ray, I probably didn't help you much with your wife there. Yeah. I'm going to say late, right? Is that what I should do there? But so Ray, I don't know if I helped you out with your wife there or not, but tell her we will get that out as soon as we can properly implement that. So, okay. That's it. Yep.
That's it. Visitors, any requests? None. Action items. We have a tentative agreement between the Algonac Community Schools and the Algonac Education Association.
I'll make a motion that the Board of Education approve the tentative agreement as presented between the Algonac Education Association and Algonac Community Schools, whereby teachers have agreed to not being paid for the first 2 inclement weather / act of God days during the 2014-2015 school year. The agreement is for the 2014-15 school year only and is non-precedent. It is a non-precedent setting agreement.
I'll support. Go ahead. Been moved and supported. Any discussion? I know for a fact that over the last many years now, our teachers in particular have had their the steps frozen, the pay has been frozen, the extra stuff for running National Honor Society and all other manner of things, that money went away. The amount of money being paid for coaching and all manner of other extra stuff either evaporated drastically or went away completely. And we have asked this group of people to do more and more for less and less for a long, long time. And they have stepped up once again because, like Lisa said in the paper, they see that we're in a pinch and could use a hand. And they're stepping up, and while it's not pretty and they probably don't feel very comfortable with it, and it's probably creating some heartburn in some households, nonetheless, it's a very noble gesture, and I, for one, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I do too.
Any other? Go ahead.
I do need to say I represent the district from the administrative point of view. The teachers' vote was after opening day presentation where basically it was, hi, nice to meet you, I'm your new superintendent. Oh, by the way, we're going to close some buildings and consolidate, but have a good opening day. It was a tough presentation. I was nervous about it because it's typically in an opening day you want to just say welcome to the school, welcome to the school year and so on. And I went right into the presentation because again, time is not on our side and we had to make some tough decisions, and it was after that presentation that the teachers voted, and I believe it was around 80 to 85% yes vote. And I'm emphasizing to the community, I know it was in the paper today, they didn't have to reopen their contract. And so under those circumstances, to reopen your contract and basically take a pay cut, after seeing a presentation about consolidating buildings, which is major, that says a lot for a momentum that we have right now. So I too want to thank the teachers for working together and having trust and confidence that's not owed to me. I'm new. I certainly have not earned that here. And so I appreciate that and having trust and confidence in the Board of Education who has earned that. So I appreciate that and the group, so thanks.
Anything else? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Thank you again. Approval of the KSS invoices.
Motion to approve the payment to KSS Enterprises in the total amount of $287.54 for the purchase of custodial supplies.
Support. Mike, it's
I'd like
been
to
moved and supported.
abstain from voting, please.
Roger, understand. So noted. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. And motion to adjourn.
Support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Have a good night.